Hey, folks, welcome to InTheMoneyStocks.com's live trading action video. My name is Gareth Soloway, Chief Market Strategist here. Today's date is Tuesday, March 13th, 2018. Well, folks, I wanted to show you the QQQ chart, the Nasdaq 100, because it staged a pretty dramatic reversal after being up over $1. It's now down $1, was actually down close to 2 at the lows, but again, we have had a pretty significant bounce here. But the bottom line is that when the market was up higher today, when the QQQ was up $1, which is a very solid gain for the Nasdaq 100, there was a signal that alerted me that a reversal was going to come. And I'm here to show you guys this reversal signal. It is an amazing one. It's called a time count. And I'm not going to really go into details because it's proprietary. We teach it to our members here. But obviously, I'm not going to just share it for free on a video here. But bottom line is, there was a time count to the upside right here that alerted me that today's day should be the reversal day on the QQQ, and it should be a short-term top on the Qs. Now, the S&P I still have priced in going a little bit higher in the near term, and therefore, if it's interesting enough, if you flip over to the S&P, you can see that the S&P is actually holding right around the flat line right now. Wouldn't be surprised if it ends slightly green on the day, but the Qs, again, should have topped today short-term. There was also a secondary factor here. Take a look. If you zoom out and you just basically take this trend line here, you put a trend line right here and connect it right through, you basically get the highs of today. So high pivot to high pivot, and look at today's high there. If we zoom in a little bit, you can see it kisses that trend line. So you knew there were multiple factors here that were telling us that the Nasdaq will result in a pullback. Plus, in all fairness, you were seeing some of the most ridiculous moves in stocks in the technology sector that you can remember. So, I mean, we thought things were ridiculous in January before the 10% correction in the markets when, we saw Boeing up crazy for such a long period of time. But interestingly enough, we've seen stocks like Netflix go up crazy until the last couple days. Netflix starting to come in pretty nicely now. You can see down again today, but the reversal day yesterday. This is, by the way, this is an engulfing reversal candle here yesterday, so that's a powerful sell signal potential top there as well. And if you just look at the valuations on something like Netflix, it's just insane. It's basically got a market cap equal to Disney, so the company is basically valued equal to Disney, but their PE ratio on Disney is like 17, and on Netflix it's like 150 to 200. In addition, keep in mind, and I said this to our members, that Disney has theme parks. I mean, it has gear. You can get Disney hats. All these. I mean, it has decades and decades and decades of movies and so forth. And while I love Netflix and I have Netflix, it doesn't have that. It doesn't have theme parks, needless to say. And you don't walk around in Netflix gear, right? It's not like, oh yeah, I've got a Netflix hat on. As opposed to, Disney characters and Disney movies and stuffed animals and all that kind of stuff. So, in my opinion, the valuation is so insane on Netflix. And again, don't forget, I'm a Netflix subscriber, and I think I think their product's great. I just think the valuation of the company's gotten too out of control. So my expectation is you're going to see Netflix come all the way back in here. You'll have a first retrace will be back to here, which is about 285, and then actually it will go through that at some point, going all the way down to about this level. I have a target of around 240 to 250 on the chart, maybe as low as this 230 gap fill level. That's down the road, though. I think short term, you're just looking for like a 285 pullback on the stock in the short term. Okay, so again, keep in mind, a lot of these technology stocks getting out of control. One thing that kind of alerted me to a possible reversal today, just in terms of chatter, was that yesterday, a lot of the media, the financial media, was talking about, I mean, all they could talk about was which stock is going to get to $1 trillion valuation first, Amazon or Apple. When you start hearing that and it's a lead story, and it hasn't happened yet, it's usually telling you that the hype is getting a little too high. So those stocks, the technology sectors, need to start to pull back today. And we are seeing Amazon, small pullback in Amazon today. Amazon was actually up like 15 early on. It's basically back to the flat line. Was down as much as 15, so I mean $30 reversal there. But now you can see it's basically back to the flat line today. And Google's had a pretty miraculous reversal today. There was a huge gap fill on Google that I really was hoping would tag today. It missed by like literally $2 on this stock here. See this line right here? That would have been a dead short, and look at the fall it's had. So it didn't hit, so I didn't get triggered on this trade, but nonetheless, it was a beautiful setup. And remember, this gap fill was where it closed the day before or the day they announced earnings after the bell. So the market closed, the stock closed here, then they announced earnings, and then this is where it opened and fell to after that. So this is just a huge resistance line, and you can see the sellers emerged very, very quickly. The sellers even couldn't even wait for it to get back to break even. They just started selling ahead of time. And that's what happens because a lot of people get stuck here and then they panic and they don't get out and they just kind of ride it down, panicking and fearing the whole time. And then when it pops back to their break even or just about break even, they say, all right, good riddance, get rid of it. That's the mentality there. And that's what we see oftentimes. So, anyways, interesting market today, no doubt about it. Kind of riding the wave of the economic data this morning was not as inflationary, so interest rates fell, which was a good thing, and that's why the markets were up early. But then the Tillerson firing from by Trump today, I think, kind of makes people just continues to make people a little uneasy. There's so much turnover in the government right now, and so forth, and that kind of weighing on things. Plus, you obviously had the time count in the QQQ, which was signaling the reversal in the Qs today and reversal in many of these technology stocks. All right, we'll talk to you soon, guys. Come join us at InTheMoneyStocks.com. Check out the track record. It is about as amazing as it can be. What a year so far, folks. These moves and this volatility in the market has been spectacular. Join us at InTheMoneyStocks.com.